Dubrovnik is on the Golden Coast of Croatia. Many Europeans cruise here, and if you are an Italian cruise, there's a good chance you'll stop here too to visit the the 13th century fortified city that you see in our video. Croatia was a part of a conflict in the 90s, and many of those beautiful red tile roofs were ripped off 70% according to my research, and they did a fantastic job rebuilding. So this video will tell you what to do on a port day, and you can do it on your own and enjoy this fantastic city. To give you a quick geography lesson, if you need it, the Dubrovnik is on the Adriatic Sea, which is also where Ravenna and Venice are, which are more than likely also on your cruise. So you can see Ravenna and Venice are on the left of the screen, and Venice is the higher one, and Dubrovnik is down on the bottom right. Port basics for this is luckily, or well, I guess it's not really an opinion, but Croatia joined the EU in 2013, so your euros will work here just fine. Credit cards will typically work as well because, as you know, the world is getting a little bit smaller and a little more global when it comes to credit card use. Immigration at this time for U.S. citizens is just fine, nothing to worry about there. The language is Croatian, makes sense, right? But many people will speak English or German, especially in the tourist areas. And German is because they have a lot of German visitors. The average summer temperatures, they're going to be probably warm for most of you, 84 to 88 Fahrenheit. That's 29 to 31 Celsius. And hot, dry, and sunny. And I remember it being that way the day we were there. It was quite warm. And we advise you to wear good shoes. Maybe this is not a flip flop kind of day because it's cobblestones, because it is an old city. Those cobblestones are everywhere, and you want your feet to be as comfortable as you are with your bottle of water, temperature wise. This depends on how much time you have in port. So if you only have a few hours in port, you probably just want to go to visit Old Town and see it. You can see from here, it is quite big. So you can spend hours there. You can spend your whole day there and have a very busy busy but relaxing day. The other thing is you can also visit Old Town, but move all the way up to Mount Srdj. That is spelled Srdj. And if you're an American like me, it's kind of strange to see a word without a vowel in it. But that is the other kind of popular thing to do. And you can easily do these on your own. Your options for getting to the Old Town, if you basically have four different options. So the do-it-yourself options are you can take a bus. So there's bus 1A, 1B, and 8 that leave right from the port. And you can see how close it is because if you look at that top arrow, the ship's right behind me. And you can see the other arrow is pointing to the local bus stop. The other thing that you can do is you can take a taxi one way. So one way, the latest we found, it was about $15 one way, and it is not too far, so you can actually walk if that is up to you. We didn't walk, and you might be surprised if you're a fan of Cruise Port Captain to know that. And I'll tell you why at the end we didn't walk. And then you also, of course, are going to have an option to go by cruise shuttle. And this is why you want to go to Old Town. So the first mate on the left is standing in front of how you access the city wall. You can walk the entire city wall. You just have to go up and down 2 flights of pretty steep stairs. And the other side is me on the right showing you what the interior looked like. I really had no idea what to expect from Old Town or Dubrovnik in general, but it was a very nice, delightful day. So if you have more time and you're feeling a little more adventurous, you can visit Old Town, but then you can also take a taxi up it to the mountain. Or you don't even actually have to take a taxi the whole way. So the mountain, I believe, is behind the first mate. If you look up to the left there on top of the mountain, you can barely see there's some cable cars there. So one way to do it on your own is to take bus 8 to the cable cars and then take the cable cars or gondolas all the way up to the summit. You can also take a taxi. So this might be a great option because for relatively not too much money, what we saw is that it was about $50 for the day. So of course you want to negotiate that with your taxi driver and make sure everything is agreed on before you get into the taxi. But they can take you where you want to go at your leisure. The really good thing about that too is those taxis can make it those short, narrow roads. Now, if you take the ship's excursion, it really is going to depend on what kind of vehicle they use, whether they can go to the summit, because the buses can't make it up all the way there on those typical short European roads. So those are your options, and you can tell price points are going to be really drastically different. If you do it on your own, you're talking, $2 for the bus, and I haven't looked into how much the cable car was lately, but it can't be that much. If you do it with a taxi by yourself, we're talking $50, and that's probably $50 for your entire party. And as you know, ship excursions usually are more than that, and they usually drop you off at a shop, whether you want to go to or not. The other option that I didn't put up here is always two. You can check with Viator or get your guide. They may have also either shorter excursions or smaller excursions, or be able to do it privately too, and you can have it all prearranged if you're a person who likes to get everything done before you leave home. The reason we didn't go up to the mountain, which is very unlike cruise port captain and the first mate, is because that day the first mate was having one of his migraines. And I wanted to make a little bit of tip about this because there is a slight chance, or maybe a good chance, depending on what your health is that you'll get sick on the ship. And it's happened to him, it's happened to me where we've missed port days. And we always kind of feel like you have to take care of yourself first. And you kind of have to know if you're going to be miserable. It's going to be, you just bear through it and you can get through it with a little bit of medicine. So be gentle on yourself. I know these are really big trips and you're so excited to go, but if you're not feeling well, and especially if you're on an excursion and it's harder for you to adjust your plans and get back to the ship, you just be smart is our big advice. Yeah, it sucks sometimes, but it sometimes does go with the territory. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and hope you enjoy your day in Dubrovnik and you found some useful information here. If you did like the video, please hit that like button. And if you really enjoyed the series, or you are planning a cruise, please subscribe. It just takes you a second, costs you nothing, but it certainly means the world to us, so we can keep creating good videos for you. So when you go on a cruise, you feel you have options. You don't always have to take the ship's excursions, but sometimes they're the best options. But we want you to have the information to make the best decision for you. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you have tips, you've been to Dubrovnik and you did something different, please leave that as well. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. And until then, make life a bon voyage.